Rated E to E10+. Coming this holiday season, Mushroom Men! Born of mysterious space dust, the Mushroom Men rise to explore our world and solve the mystery of their bizarre transformation in The Spore Wars, the must-have adventure of the season, exclusively for the Wii. And be sure to check out Rise of the Fungi on Nintendo DS, two thrilling tales from the same bizarre universe. Mushroom Men!
We can't even get into co-op.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Dude, did this work? Like,
I was playing this last night. I was able to go to the lobby. I was able to create an online match, and ever since I got in this morning, every time it
just doesn't fucking work.
Yeah, I mean, I can play it offline, but every time I try to like load up the demo, it just signs me off Xbox Live. I'm not even connected anymore. Like, it's not even an option.
How the fuck do they even know?
I don't know.
I mean, like, you made the Japanese count and everything, right?
This happened in like 12 hours.
Oh my god.
Fuck. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna cover it though.
Dude, I don't know how we can cover this on the show without.
Come and look at this. I got more important things to talk about. Ah, whatever. Check it out. Who do you think would win in a fight? My awesome home avatar on PS3, awesome. Or my avatar on the NXE.
Okay. All right. Well, your NXE is pretty gruff and beefy. I think
he does a nice wave.
I think he might actually. Well, no. Look, his cheeks are all rosy. He looks like he got fucking beat up already.
I just wanted to make him look all cute. I just wanted to
but that guy's got the salsa.
That's true. I think he knows other dances too, but I'm pretty sure I don't care about the other dances.
I think salsa's gonna be the best.
Look at that twirl.
Woo! Well, the real question is, where's your fucking me? Why isn't your me in the mix?
I'm pretty sure my me died of starvation like a year and a half ago. I haven't seen him in years. And fuck me.
Work 仕事へ行きたくない学校なんかつまんないみんなで一緒にテレビゲーム遊びたい遊びたいどこでも行っても同じだみんなで歌を歌うんだみんなで一緒にテレビゲーム遊んだらどうだらワンアップショーを見ましょうワンアップショーで遊ぼうワンアップショーワオすごいワンアップショーやったよワンアップショーです
morning, and then I put in flour, played it for 20 minutes, and I couldn't help but feel serene and happy and like realign my chakras. And by the end of level 3, I wanted to like reduce my carbon imprint and stop using fossil fuels.
It feels a lot like Flow. I think a lot of people who played this did play, or will have played Flow, and the actual basic movement, like the turning and everything, like that really works. And what's also really cool is something it took me a while to realize is like when you think about it as if you're playing as the wind instead of the flowers.
Right, you're the Zephyr, you're not the flowers.
Right.
Yes.
That really, then that's kind of like the controls click, and then turning and like like you said, whipping up and falling back down, and that's actually cool because you can kind of get a lay of the land too when you spin up, and it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, when the camera pans out and you see your whole as you grow in petals and you become all these kind of exotic colors. Kind of the analogy I use is you look like one of those Chinese dragons in a parade, right? Kind of zipping up and down. It's just a really pretty scene.
My favorite thing is when you like let you go slow and you kind of like zoom in on a little flower and you wait there. Your flowers just kind of like waft around, and when you press the button to accelerate again, like the camera does this thing where you kind of feel like you're taking a breath and you're just like.
Yes.
And that's like such a great little minor thing that just adds.
Well, and the whole package is so aesthetically cohesive and beautiful. Like by the end of level 3, it's it's like breathtakingly beautiful.
Yes.
And it's not that it's the best looking game in terms of polygons on screen. It's just like all the choices they made were very specific and subtle and stylized.
It's the coolest grass I've ever seen in my life, though. I've never enjoyed looking at grass in a video game like I have.
And it's kind of tech demo-y, but it's like it's actually, it feels totally cohesive. It doesn't feel like that. I mean, it is really just kind of pushing one specific like visual idea, but it works so well.
And they said, so what, you can just keep flying until the time runs out? And I was like, no, there's no timer, there's no pressure. It's just about enjoying an experience. I think a lot of games, they design around the idea that excitement and enjoyment and fulfillment can only come from some sort of negative pressure and negative reinforcement. Like, if you do not do this, you will die. Or like, you have to kill this guy in order to move forward.
I mean, how many people have walked up to you while you're playing this game and be like, how do you die? And like, oh, you don't die. It's not a game about dying.
It's all positive reinforcement.
Right, but there is an incentive to do better. Like when you're going really quickly, when you're hitting flowers in a row, it makes these tones, so it plays the music. It's kind of like Res in a way. It's like Res meets Flow.
The audio cues in the game are one of like the best motivators for it. It's like every time you hit a flower, you hear like a little chime or some like violins playing, and
One really clever thing the game does, I think, which makes me feel like these levels are really expertly designed, is regardless of the speed you're going at, if you want to go top speed, you'll miss a bunch of flowers, but there's all sorts of like embankments at the end of rows that will feed you back into the area we're supposed to be going. So even if if you usually want to get like a circular pattern of flowers, you'll have to go kind of slowly and meticulously, but you can just kind of fly past it and keep on making passes at it and get them all. And I think doing it that way is like really exhilarating and feels really natural.
I have this like compulsive need to get every single flower. Like the more flower you touch, the more petals you get, the faster you go, and I just have this compulsive nature where I want to get every single flower. Some people are like, you're ruining the experience, you're playing it wrong, but I still have fun doing it, and it rewards me for it anyway. So I thought it was cool. You could like play it one way, like the artsy, like I want to just experience the game, and you can also play it the other way where you're like, I want to max each level. I want to find all the cool hidden details.
I can just keep flying around in gradual circles and enjoying the look and the feel of the game and get them in my own time. And that takes all of the pressure off, and you're just enjoying the mechanics and enjoying the feel of the game.
Well, you do want to play it more than once though, because after the first time you go through, you kind of go through linearly, you follow the flowers, you get to the very end, you're like, okay, did it. You play it on the second time, that's when you start exploring more, and then you find all these little things. Like each level, you can get up to these 3 leaves on the potted plant in the hub world, and it's based on how well you do. Like the more flowers you collect, these little green special ones pop up in the world, and you get a leaf. And when you get 3 leaves, the potted plant in the hub world like fully blossoms. Right. When you beat it the first time, it's just kind of like halfway open, but you can get it to fully blossom. And that little thing makes you just feel so accomplished. You're like, I made that flower bloom, and it's really great.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect game for anybody to have in their library, because there are so many times where like late at night before I'm going to bed or whatever, playing something for 20 minutes that's not like Gears of War or Left 4 Dead that requires a lot of interaction and a lot of engagement. I think really anybody can enjoy it.
I think the central theme of this whole game is renewal. And you see that in the menus, and you see it when you go through a level. And I don't think it's necessarily pro or con to urban life. I think there might be a statement there that urban life, it can be renewed.
I think it's renewal of the video game industry. Not everything has to be violent and filled with conflict.
I'm definitely interested to see the conclusion of Flower. If that 4th level is the blue flower, if that is the last level, I'm really curious what it's going to happen. Are we going to fly out of the window into the city?
But yeah, I think level 4 could be amazing. Hopefully it's like the last level of Res and they saved it all for the last level and it's going to blow us.
Yeah, it all come together.
Rated E to E10+. Coming this holiday season, Mushroom Men! Born of mysterious space dust, the Mushroom Men rise to explore our world and solve the mystery of their bizarre transformation in The Spore Wars, the must-have adventure of the season, exclusively for the Wii. And be sure to check out Rise of the Fungi on Nintendo DS, two thrilling tales from the same bizarre universe. Mushroom Men!
So Nick, I think we made a classic mistake.
Did we?
We made a classic mistake.
Do tell.
Well, we ordered 2 import copies of LocoRoco 2 from Japan, from, you know, our local Japanese importer. Instead of buying 2 European copies of the game, which would have had plenty of English dialogue for us to read.
Yeah, LocoRoco's already kind of enough of what the hell is this, what's going on, never mind everything being in Japanese.
I think, actually, that I like LocoRoco more than most people do.
See, I'm surprised anyone just doesn't like it. I mean, at a very basic level, it's just like a happy game to play.
And it definitely has a very cute art style, but it's so complete, including the sound design, that I don't think it should really bother people. And then, more importantly, like some other brilliant platformers before it, most namely the Mario series, it's just kind of like a facade for some kind of tricky gameplay. Anyone should be able to make their way through most of the stages in this game, but in order to get 100% and fully complete them, it's actually very tricky, and much more tricky, I think, than the first game.
Yeah, I agree with that, and that's kind of the thing too that throws me off. Is like I love the general silliness of it, but it makes it all the more frustrating when there's parts that are like super hardcore, and I'm like, come on, I'm just a blob. I don't have many moves. This is really difficult, and there's a lot of parts where things will just happen, and I'll get one chance to like not lose a guy, and I'll lose it before I even know what's going on, and I'm like, fuck. What I do like in this, they seem to have done a better job. My girlfriend was playing, and she like hopped on a little lift that was carrying the LocoRoco up, and left one behind because she had just been a pile and reaccumulated it. And I pointed out, I was like, oh no, the other one. She was like, ah, too late. And there were like spikes at the bottom, so she couldn't go back. So she plopped down, and we were like both kind of sad. But then like here he came by himself on this lift right behind him, and it was like super cute and like, ah, I figured it out. And, like,
that's really
so
nice.
there's moments like that where it still like saves you because it knows that it's kind of like being a jerk.
If I remember correctly, in the first game, once you completed a stage, if you went back into the stage, the items you'd already collected were already collected from it.
Yes.
So in this game, it's not like that, where the stage basically resets itself. You can play it as many times as you want and basically try to get a better score than you did the time before.
Right.
That's another important thing about this game. If you're not listening to it while you're playing it, you're really missing out on like a giant part of the game, because just like before, the little LocoRoco are singing along. Depending upon which of the 8 colors of LocoRoco you're using, the song that they sing is slightly different. And then of course, if your ball is between 1 and 5 LocoRocos, you get, or 1 and 4, you get a certain amount of music. On the 5th one, it adds another musical instrument, and I really like that. Like once you get your ball up to size 15, like the music is pretty full featured and sounds really, really good.
There's also the parts where lots of times now when you hop inside another object, just like a big like boulder essentially.
Or the afro.
If you're in the like spherical one, you're basically controlling like a little ball rolling around, so that has different physics, and then you can break through boulders. So that changes the game a bit. I mean, it's still kind of like rolling and platforming, and it's still the same buttons, it's still simplistic, but there's enough variety in the stages now that it feels a little different moment to moment.
And now, more than before, There are just, every stage has different like machinery and different like obstacles and lots of new interactions. I mean, one of the big ones obviously is that your guys can bite down on things now. So there are like vines that you can climb on and like puzzles where you'll have to jump all around the stage. They now have like a space stage where it's a bit more floaty when you do your jumps, and the backgrounds are like clouds. It's kind of pretty.
Did you like the underwater?
And the underwater stages
drove me nuts.
See, I like the underwater stages.
It was a nice change of pace, but I think very few games do underwater stages well. And this, like, it's the physics weren't as fun. It's just hopping around on land, and it's like I had to adjust, but it was more frustrating than challenging for me.
In the underwater stages, they'll have specific sections where it's enclosed in like kind of electrocuted water, and so throughout those periods, your LocoRoco have to be broken down into tiny balls instead of into one mass, and it just makes you know, it's a different challenge than you would ever have on land. I think one of the things that people really complained about in the first LocoRoco was that they didn't feel like there was enough variety. Each world had like 8 stages, I can't remember exactly, it's been a while since I played it, but then once you moved on to World 2, you noticed that like the level artwork for each of the stages was very similar to the ones that you'd seen before.
Right, and this you bounce between worlds back and forth constantly, so it does change it up a lot.
Right.
And you also in between have like now it's like tons of mini games you unlock throughout, and like they're all pretty cool. I mean,
some of them are better than others. Yeah. There's one where you can get 4 different colored LocoRoco to race, and you basically just watch the race. And
so
all
are you betting on them?
Yeah, you just bet on them at the beginning.
That's what I thought.
And it's like, there's not much interaction there. All you do is make a bet. But it's still cute to watch the AI hop around, and you never know who's going to win.
You have like a whole separate area you go to where there's like this big like hollowed out like baobab tree that the movies live in. It kind of reminded me of Patapon actually, and that you're collecting those little pieces of elements, only instead of affecting the actual game, you can then build things in this house. It's kind of like you just have a little cursor and you click and then see what you can build, and you can tell that you need different types of resources for different things. And there's already people online talking about like the rarest ones and how to get them and what parts you need. And that part of the game, I mean, if I knew like a little more specifically what was going on, I feel like that part can be really addictive.
I'm really looking forward to getting an English version of the game and like sinking my teeth into it.
And like I just built a rocking horse, and in the movie when he walks past, he hops on and rocks a bit. There's lots of little interactions, so I'm guessing by the time you have it done, it'll be like this whole little thing where you can just watch things play out inside. The art style and the whole aesthetic is like so complete that it's like they can almost do anything with it, even if it's not as participatory, and it's like still engaging if you're into the general look of it.
Exactly. I should reiterate that I haven't beat this game yet, and I'm really looking forward to, and I'm also looking forward to going through and getting 100% on all the stages.
That seems so difficult now.
I know, which is why I'm excited to do it. I did do it in the last game, and it took me a good little while. I probably played like 20 hours to perfect all the stages, and this one I think will take me longer. I love this series. It's one of my favorites, and the control is so unique. There's really nothing that plays like this out there at all. It definitely has a Sony sort of feel, but like I wish Nintendo was making platformers of this quality.
Now more than ever, though, do I want a real PSN LocoRoco game too?
Oh,
now I want a full TV. I mean, it's got the 6-axis there.
It would be fun with the 6-axis. Yeah. If people have played the first LocoRoco and they didn't like it, they're probably not going to like this one. I mean, I can say without a doubt. But if you played the first LocoRoco and you kind of liked it, but you thought it got kind of boring after a while and you just didn't think there was enough there, I think this game remedies that.
I'd say as far as expectations, though, just don't expect as fresh an experience. The first time I picked up the first LocoRoco, which is totally like, I was like, wow, this is the happiest game ever, this is totally engaging, and now it's like, I know LocoRoco, I'm familiar with what it does. This one has more variety, but I'd say not to expect quite the same, like, blow you away silly happiness.
Rated E to E10+. Coming this holiday season, Mushroom Men! Born of mysterious space dust, the Mushroom Men rise to explore our world and solve the mystery of their bizarre transformation in The Spore Wars, the must-have adventure of the season, exclusively for the Wii. And be sure to check out Rise of the Fungi on Nintendo DS, 2 thrilling tales from the same bizarre universe. Mushroom Men!
I need more mana. how exactly did you get to level 80 that fast? I mean, you're the only person that has done that so far.
And I was gone for a week over Thanksgiving break, and so I thought all my guildies would catch up to me, and like I came back and only one of them had gotten to level 80. I was like totally, I don't know, dude, it totally seems easy to me. Like Northrend is so fucking streamlined. I felt like I was just sailing all the way to 80. Like it was no problem.
I think that's kind of like a drawback to the game, where it's just too easy almost? Or?
No, I don't think so. I think it's like, well...
Leveling is an inconvenience.
I like that. That's
really?
The good stuff comes after you get to 80. You know, going from 70 to 80 is just like, oh, I gotta do this again.
Yeah, but you're the kind of guy who, like, you know, skip all the flavor text, don't show it to me, whatever. And like, I totally get in. Like, when I'm leveling, I play WoW like a single player RPG. Yeah, you know, I really get into that. And I think actually Blizzard caught on to that. Because you'll notice that, like, whenever you have to fight, almost always whenever you have to fight like some elite mob at the end of a quest chain, they'll give you an item which reduces him to a normal mob, or they'll give you other people to fight with, other NPCs to fight with, that makes it actually doable. Yeah. And I think it's because they realize that people solo.
Yeah, most of the group quests in Lich King have been changed so that it's just for dungeons and for instances.
Right.
And there are a couple of random group quests that you need people outside of instances, but for the most part, everything is soloable now, which is fantastic. And also, like you said, playing more like a single player RPG and like caring about the flavor text, it's easier to care about it now because the plot is more apparent in Lich King, and there's a lot more, like, there's just a lot more spoken dialogue, there's a lot more going on.
Damn it! If my warriors abandon me, I'll never defeat Mal'Ganis. The ships must be burned before the men reach the shore.
Isn't that a bit much, lad?
And for the first time, they actually do storytelling through gameplay, which is something that WoW has never done before. Yeah. I mean, like, okay, they did, but to a very small degree. And now it's like, it's all over the place. Like, I didn't have to go trying to figure out at all what was going on or what the lore was or anything. It was all given to me in a very direct way, and it was enjoyable.
As much as I don't care about the lore and don't read it, it still boils down to, like, the first guy you talk to being like, welcome to Northrend, you know, we're gonna fight the Lich King, now go pick up 10 things.
Yeah.
Like, why am I still doing this?
You'd think, actually, you know, they would kind of respect the old game a little bit more, maybe, in that regard, where it's like, come on, and it's been months where you're like, you're the top of the food chain, basically, you know?
Those quests are there, and it does suck that they're there, but on the flip side, they have a lot more of these quests that make you feel like you're really important.
Everybody remembers, like, the Nessingwary, I think that's his name? Nessingwary quest chains that were in the original WoW and in Burning Crusade, where you're killing tons, and, like, he has you kill, like, 30 of this animal. And
you haven't gotten to Sholazar's Basin yet. Oh, because that's where Nessingwary is set up in Northrend. But the ending of that quest chain is you and Nessingwary riding a mammoth to go take out an epic dragon.
Okay,
you know, so it's like they do shit like that, where it's like you think that you're gonna be doing the same quest chains that you've been doing ever since WoW came out, but right at the end they'll throw something completely new and surprising at you, and I'll go, oh, this is fucking awesome, and it kind of makes the tedious parts worth it. Not completely, but it kind of does.
The tempo of the gameplay seems to change up quite a bit.
See, I kind of wish that they would just take all that cool stuff, make them daily quests or something, and then just just stop with the leveling. Here's all these daily quests and a bunch of new raids. Like, what's wrong with that?
I know you're, like, annoyed by that, but I think some people really do kind of thrive on that.
They're perfectly entitled to their wrong opinion.
The quest rewards haven't been kind of up to snuff, I think, because I'm level 80 and I've still got about half of my epic purples, you know, from being level 70 and instance grinding and stuff like that.
For somebody who didn't do a lot of instances in Burning Crusade like myself, like, I've been replacing gear like crazy.
Yeah. But how far have you guys gotten? Have you gotten into Dragon Blight?
I'm in Dragon Blight right now, working through that quest chain. I'm about probably halfway through the zone. I'm actually really enjoying that place just because I'm to the point now where I'm going to the different dragon shrines and getting to see and talk to and do quests for all these giant, ridiculous-looking dragons. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I ask is because Dragon Blight is the first instance, or the first zone that I can think of where things completely change. And what happens is, like, you'll go to an area, you'll go through a quest chain, and at the end of the quest chain, this little area will be phased differently for you. Like an example, in Ice Crown, there aren't any quest hubs for the Argent Dawn or for the Argent Crusade until you complete a quest chain, and then this area that was this conflict and this conflict that you're intimately involved in and that you help the Argent Crusade push through suddenly becomes like it's built up and now it's a quest hub. And like anybody who hasn't completed that quest chain, they still see the old area. But you who have completed the quest chain, you see the new area. And it's seamless.
It's huge. I mean, it makes you feel like you're having an impact on the game, which is something that MMOs have always struggled with. Like, every MMO has always struggled with. How can we make the players feel like they're actually changing the world without having them change the world, because they can't really do that.
Right. They've just introduced so many new mechanics, and I think they've introduced them well. Now, I say that, but a lot of my guildmates, especially with vehicles, have run into a lot of bugs. That's one of the huge new mechanics in Wrath of the Lich King are vehicles. And like every single vehicle is different. They play different, they have different powers. I mean, like sure, they're based on one another, and there are some that have some similarities that you'll notice. But like, especially when you get into Ice Crown and everything, there's just so many vehicle quests. You'll do things like, I have one where I'm riding on the shoulder of a giant and just like stomping like hundreds of Scourge all at the same time, you know? Like, that stuff is super satisfying, it's super fun, and completely breaks the monotony of those other, like, go grab 10 meat quests, you know? Chaos. I've only run a couple of the instances. I haven't run any of the level 80 instances yet. I've run Uthgard Keep, which is super short, and then the Nexus, which is in Koldara, which is actually one of my favorite instances.
There's not so many trash mobs, and you're really kind of fighting boss after boss after boss, and if you have a good group, you can blast through them in like 30 minutes to an hour. You're never, like, it doesn't seem like most of the instances in Lich King are too long or too like difficult to go through if you know what you're doing.
Azjol Nerub, and that one is really cool because it is just straight up boss battle after boss battle. I mean, there's some trash mobs that come after you. There really isn't hardly even any time to rest. Like, it's meant to be like done like that. It's also really interestingly constructed in that it's like a giant tube that you fall down in. And so it's like this kind of insect den, you know? You can buy the Trader's Woolly Mammoth, which can hold 3 people. So 3 people can ride a fast mount, and it has vendors on it. And so it's like, it's 18,000 gold. So clearly the mechanics are in there for them to have multiplayer vehicles. I'm just hoping that it's implemented in the end game somewhere. I don't do PvP. Like, I just don't. Yeah. What about you? Have you done any?
You're on a PvP server, so.
When I get jumped as a hunter randomly by somebody, it's pretty likely that I'm gonna die. Yeah. Surprise does not favor hunters. Right. And the Death Knight is, I mean, he has so many more immediate options to him. So I've had a bit more success in World PvP. My favorite zones are, I haven't seen Ice Crown yet, but my favorite zones are Howling Fjord and Sholazar Basin.
My favorite as far as content goes is gotta be Ice Crown. It's like, it really is epic, and it feels like it, but oh my god, it wants to be Mordor so bad. So bad.
It reeks of Mordor.
Have you gone up to Ice Crown Citadel?
Yeah.
Look at it?
Yeah, you can fly right up to it. It's like, it's not dangerous at all. There's nothing even there.
Oh, really?
I mean, like, there's stuff kind of on this, yet. I mean, there's stuff kind of like on the ramparts around it or whatever, but you can walk right up to the front door and like, Arthas! Huh. Speaking of Arthas though, like, you really get a lot of Arthas in this game. Right in Howling Fjord, you get a mission where you run into Arthas, and then there's several missions throughout, and they're all tied together and like, you get to see things like, I try not to spoil it, but let's just say you get to see things that you wouldn't think you would get to see, and that you get to see them from Arthas's perspective.
The blade is cursed. Let's get the hell out of here.
I'm actually mostly enjoying some of the new talents and some of the new abilities. Really enjoying the new Blade Storm. You just blast that, you just start killing everything around you. And the cool thing is that you're not stationary when doing it. you could actually circle around them.
Well, yeah, my new favorite ability for mages is when I hit level 80 and I got mirror image. And
crazy.
It's really crazy awesome. Like you just generate 4 clones.
You should like PvP.
Yeah.
I think that evil is actually inside you, you know, about ganking people, but you just don't act on it.
Yeah.
You just gotta embrace it.
The one